Today with us, we have Alok Sheopurkar, CHRO of HDFC AMC. Needs no introduction, but he has been with HDFC AMC right from inception, responsible for building the entire team that built HDFC AMC. He's also a French philosopher guide to a lot of startups, as well as a lot of HR service providers, HR tech companies, HR consulting companies. His contribution both to business and to people has been immaculate and difficult to compare. Hi, Alok.
Thank you very much for so kind words.
You're welcome, Alok. It's a pleasure, and I'm sure your words of wisdom will be of great help to young HR professionals, entrepreneurs, and even young CEOs. And therefore, we were debating that how should we interview you? Should we interview you as a CHRO or as a CEO? So I decided that we'll use the questions which we have designed for the CEO, because your involvement in business, your support to your CEO is quite exemplary and has been talked about in the industry. So without much ado, we will get started with the interview. And the first question is that you won Global Employees' Choice Awards, which means your employees believe that HDFC AMC and you as CHRO and Mr. Manota, CEO, are considered by your employees as the best company, as the best CEO, and as the best CHRO. What have you done differently to get your employees, and in your case, the response was very, very high. So get most of your employees think so highly of the company and the leadership.
Prashant, thank you very much for considering me worthy of this interview. And it's absolute privilege to talking to you. I think you would agree with me that as HDFC, we are quite a conservative organization, and we always want to be away from limelight. That's the way we are wired. Mr. H.T. Parekh started HDFC Limited, the mortgage leader, then mortgage leader, after his retirement as chairman of ICICI, then ICICI. So people have choice at the age of 60 or 60 plus to either spend rest of the life in mountains or near beaches. But here is a man, he realized and identified a problem that India needs a very strong mortgage lender to enable people to get the house, because he could see that in future, if you need spouse, you must have house, right? So, so you are on mute, Prashant, it seems. So you need house to get a spouse, okay?
Very aptly put. Very aptly put.
Yeah. So, and this is how you see in last 40 plus years how the housing industry has grown, and it has not just grown; it has created a lot of other industries also, right from tile to paint to every other thing. Yeah. So it has grown as an ecosystem. People taking loan were not very welcome in those days by the people who were lending money. Now, of course, things have changed. But what was central to this entire phenomena, that Mr. Parekh himself will ensure that the incoming person who is coming to borrow money shouldn't feel below dignity. So he will ensure that everybody is offered a glass of water. He will personally move file from table to table. So this is how humility was wired since inception. And the very strong process orientation, because he was advised that you are lending money, but people will not return money. And HDFC became the gold standard of lending money. People will get loan approved and then use their own money, because they knew if HDFC has approved the loan, the title papers and all documents are good to go. So this is how process, perfection, humility wired in the organization. And this is what happens when a retired person starts a business. And I think we perfectly borrow that culture, found more connectivity to the connected to that culture. And I think this is what we try to, with due humility, replicate in our organization. I think that is the something which is the bedrock for whatever we have achieved so far.
That is so nice. That is so nice. So we're saying that the history and culture embedded in the foundation of the organization has created a ethos that the leadership has been able to leverage and create a sustainable ecosystem for engaging employees, engaging customers, and delivering shareholder value.
So if you don't serve your employees well, you cannot deliver the customer service on a long-term sustainable basis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And could you tell me what is the vision of HDFC AMC for people and business?
So we have the same vision for people and same vision for the business. And it's very clear that we want to be the most respected asset manager in the world. We could have said we could have want to be #1 asset manager in India or Asia or world, but we prefer to be the most respected asset manager where people can take leap of faith in our processes. And today, with a lot of pride, I can humbly submit, Prashantji, is that at least I believe that the last person in the organization has total clarity that if there is a divergent position on profit and compliance, the company will stand by compliance, and person has very total clarity. So they wear the badge of pride that this is the company which will always stand by most ethical conduct, and they will deliver fiduciary responsibility to protect the money of investor as if it was their own money. So that confidence corrects, I think, 95% of unwarranted behaviors. And that wiring, if one successfully creates in the minds of organized in the people, I think you are there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. So this is what we are planning to achieve. And as we go along, I will tell you what are some of the things we are working with to realize our vision.
What is your view on quantification of the impact of employee engagement on business outcomes?
See, while thinking is important, okay, so quantification addresses the intellectual part of it, maybe money part of it. And it may help you also to do the research and bring laser sharp solutions to complex people issues. However, the role of feeling cannot be ignored.
That's primary.
Yes, right. During the difficult times, let's say if the world has just recovered COVID, okay, the assurance which you get when you have mother or wife around you when you are not well, unfortunately, a doctor or nurse cannot deliver that.
Correct.
Right. So, but the other side is what doctor and nurse can deliver, these people cannot deliver. So I think organization should be mindful and the leader should be mindful that we have to create this approach where while there's a policy, there are outlines, there are entitlements, but last we are also standing behind you if everything else to fail to deliver what you want.
No, very, very nice. Very nice. How will you define your leadership style?
So look, I mean, HDFC as a group has always been very inclusive. And Mr. Parikh, who is our chairman, or Mr. Navneet Manot, who is our MD, I mean, addressing people by first name is not at all issue. Okay. So this gives people assurance that they have access. They can talk to, and approachability, and thankfully we have been able to retain people for longer tenure. So tenure, I think, brings a lot of boldness, lot of ownership, and lot of candidness, because you earn that goodwill. So some of the approaches, inclusiveness and being supportive, I would say, while more family kind of approach, we will not throw rule book at people when they need any humanitarian support. And I have hundreds of such examples where I can take pride in quoting that organizations have gone long distances to support people whenever there was a crisis. So I think rather than going into the classical styles which we read in book, if one style can sum it up, which is our tagline also, Bharosa Apno Ka. I think we have been able to live that with our people.
That's so nice. That's so nice. What do you consider your own biggest achievement, whether personal or professional?
See, I mean, frankly speaking, I've never tried to put any gauging to that. But one thing is there, if you're led by a purpose to give, you create a multiplier effect. So whether it is in the field of badminton, whether it's a field of academia, whether it's a field of HR forums, whether it's a field of mentoring people, supporting, contributing, with a very selfish interest that every next encounters makes you richer. Okay, and if you are richer, your ability to give becomes more. So I think with due humbleness, this is what I have learned in this company or from my seniors in this company or other companies. If you write a mail to Mr. Manot or Mr. Parikh, you will get an appointment. Okay. So these are the people who meet people. These are the people who are always willing to listen to. And this is what has emboldened me to stay connected with people across the level. And since I'm also responsible for CSR, one thing I can certainly say that if one thing you ask me what is number one contribution is, as a CSR person, we recently bought 100 flats from MHADA for 30-year lease, which Indian Cancer Society, which Tata Memorial Hospital is using now to keep the OPD patients and their relatives, because when you see near Parel hundreds of relatives lying below the flyover, it personally pains me. And HDFC gave me an opportunity to drive this initiative and contribute. And I think this is something, if I will take pride, is to be the instrumental in this. So I feel so nice that at least 100 families can stay in this hostel, and I'm now working on another project to expand this to another 200 flats.
Wow, that is really big. That is really big, and that is also needed quite a lot. Because so far, people have ensured to deliver food and all that, but nobody has gone to the extent so that they can live
So HDFC
comfortably and decently.
Yeah, HDFC MF does extensive work with Indian Cancer Society. Our Cancer Cure Fund is a unique MF scheme in the world and the only scheme which regulator has approved. And to your audience, I would say they should do a little bit of research about it, and they can join hands to help the battle against cancer through HDFC MC's Cancer Cure Fund. After consulting the financial advisor whosoever they have, and make a decision, because we all need to stand united against this fight.
This is fantastic. This is fantastic. So we will not only try to spread this message through this video, but I'm going to be personally talking about it in all my meetings wherever I meet CEOs and CHROs.
So nice.
About this initiative and see if we can get a few more excited about it. So what message would you give to young professionals, HR professionals or entrepreneurs or CEOs?
Look, to HR professionals, I would say generally optics is that people choose HR because they want a little easy job. They don't want to run in the sun. They don't want to crunch the numbers. But if you really want to be a A-lister, you have to work shoulder to shoulder. So research, number crunching, meeting more and more people should be your natural preference. Apart from being humble, because you will learn from business, and then only you can help them to solve their complex problem. So don't run away from meeting different people, networking, learning, gathering knowledge, because organization will only give you so much of you, even if you work for 4, 5, 6 organization in your 30, 35 years of career. But by joining the hands with different organizations and playing different role, you will become, you will be able to bring a lot of variety to the conversations. And then only business will respect. Because if you are only driven by your own set of experiences, you will not be able to stretch the imagination of leader. You'll not be able to mentor them, coach them. You'll not be able to bring that extra thing on the table to get glued onto. So I think my message is this: for CEOs and business heads, I would only say that your doctor or your lawyer is as effective as your brief is. So your HR head is also as effective as you would help him to create space, because balance sheets are built quarter to quarter. Institution takes decades to build. So this is an artisan at work. Institution building is a different process. It is not quarter to quarter. Some of them can be measured quarter to quarter. So have patience, have faith, get right people and invest in them. And I think you will deliver an organization which will outlast centuries. Because each CEO has a mandate to deliver one more Coke, one more L&T, right? One more mug. Not just 1 year, 2 year, 3 year shareholder return. One more Tata Steel.
Correct. So, yeah, a lot of business growth in the short term is science, but building a long-term organization that will continue to deliver growth forever is an art. And art is usually more difficult than science. So I think very aptly put. And now some things about W.E Matter. How do you think W.E Matter has been of help and assistance to your company to improve employee engagement and well-being? Impact people and business?
So certainly, so you were the first organization where we participated in survey. As I told you, we have been quite shy from doing all these things, but I think you finally have been able to convince us. So I must appreciate your skills to convince us for that. And that has helped us to review a lot of our policies to the next level. We also realize that in an era of hyper personalization, one size fits all is not going to work, because you have workforce, you have people like me who have been working for maybe 30 to 33 years, and then you have a workforce, bottom people, not bottom in the sense of rank or usage, but the age wise, who are just 23-year-old. I mean, they haven't been on the planet for the number of years I have spent on the organization.
On the organization.
Yeah. So and thankfully, being a father of two young kids, I know how to engage them. And I think so we have been able to take a lot of initiatives. And you have to localization is also equally required as globalization is.
That's so nice. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. And what are the 3 words that you will use to describe We Matter?
I think method is extremely good. And of course, you are very passionate about what you're doing. I think that's the first thing. And rest everything is secondary, because nobody has ever delivered the product. Okay. iPhone has also made 15, 16 changes in its first version. So what is most important is how much or how committed you are. So I think you are very passionate. Your team is extremely passionate about it. Then the angle of scientific research quant, which you bring to the table, are some of the things. For example, I know you have engaged some academicians to bring the angle of mathematics and statistics to that. And I'm sure going forward, you will bring a completely unique product which is well researched, and where your outcomes can be taken on face value, and people will design their interventions basis what your outcomes are telling. So I hope all the best to We Matters, and may this initiative become the global benchmark for engagement.
As we assured that people like you will continue to support us, and as long as we have support of people like you and God's grace, we will definitely become one of the top 5 companies in the world. Right now, we are among the top 2 in the country, and hopefully next 1 year we will be number 1. So that is all dependent on our ability to keep convincing people like yourselves to work with us, because working with us is our biggest working with people like yourselves is our biggest value creation, because that's where most of our learning comes from. Then putting numbers, statistics, creating modules, questions, etc., is the science part of it. But the art really comes from interaction with people like yourselves. Thank you very much.
Prashant, I think it's absolute pleasure to work with you, and we always look up to you for a lot of inspiration. Thank you for bringing We Matters to HR fraternity. I think it's a tremendous contribution from you as a person.
Thanks a lot, Alok. Thanks a lot for your kind words, and thanks a lot for all the support and all the guidance extended by you and your team in statistics, and their guidance has also been instrumental in constantly refining our science and making it reliable and valid and incisive. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Take care. Good night.